welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be looking at these notes that you've shared with us about a concept called UniInfo.
Right.
And it looks like it's from this UniinfoNotes GitHub repository.
Yeah, that's right.
And wow, just looking through these notes, you've been building this fascinating knowledge graph.
Yeah.
Weaving in ideas from computer science and philosophy to physics and even linguistics.
It's really an ambitious project. You know, it's this attempt to create a sort of unified theory of everything with information as the central theme.
Okay, so let's get into it. Right off the bat, I noticed this term OBOP popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
Can you break down what an OBOP is and why it's so crucial to UniInfo?
Yeah, so an OBOP stands for Observer Operator.
Okay.
And it's a fundamental concept in UniInfo. Think of it as a way of understanding how observing and acting are always intertwined.
Okay.
Every time we observe something, we inherently act upon it.
Okay.
Even if it's just a shift in our mental state.
So it's not just passive observation,
All right.
but rather observation as a catalyst for change.
Exactly.
Okay.
Let's take a simple example.
Okay.
Imagine, scrolling through social media and you see a post about a friend's vacation.
Okay.
You're observing that information, but that observation might lead you to comment or to feel a pang of jealousy or maybe even to start planning your own trip.
Right.
All of those are actions responses stemming from the initial observation.
Right.
That's an OBOP in action.
I see. So even at the level of our thoughts and emotions, we're constantly engaging in these OBOPs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes me think about the butterfly effect. You know how these tiny actions can have a ripple effect influencing the world around us.
That's precisely what UniInfo seems to be getting at. This idea that OBOPs are happening at every level of reality, weaving together the very fabric of the universe.
And speaking of fabric, there's a lot of talk about threads in these notes.
Yeah.
From computer science to online discussions to literal threads holding fabric together.
Right.
It seems like a pretty versatile metaphor.
Yeah, the thread metaphor is key to understanding how UniInfo views the universe.
Okay.
It's all about interconnectedness.
Okay.
Think of a tapestry. Each thread on its own might seem insignificant, but woven together, they create this complex and beautiful whole.
Yeah.
UniInfo proposes that reality itself is like a tapestry, formed by countless interwoven threads of information, constantly interacting and shaping one another.
Okay, so threads represent relationships and connections between different pieces of information. But how do these threads translate into something more tangible that we can work with?
Right, so that's where the Uninet comes in.
Okay.
Think of the Uninet as a digital map of reality, where every single piece of information is represented as a point.
Okay.
And the threads are the connections between them. It's a way of modeling the universe as a dynamic network of information, constantly evolving as new connections form and old ones dissolve.
So are you saying that UniInfo aims to map out literally everything? From the movement of planets to the firing of neurons in our brains?
Right.
I mean, that seems incredibly ambitious, almost impossible.
It's certainly a grand vision. And while a complete map of reality might be beyond our grasp, the Uninet concept provides a framework for understanding the interconnectedness of the universe, even if we can only capture a small portion of it.
I'm starting to get a sense of just how vast and complex this whole concept of UniInfo is.
Yeah.
But with all these connections and threads, it's easy to get lost in the weeds.
Right.
There's even this recurring motif of a mind jungle. What's that all about?
The mind jungle is a great way to visualize the complexity of our own minds.
Okay.
Imagine a dense jungle teeming with diverse life forms, all interacting and interconnected. Our minds are similar. A rich ecosystem of thoughts, feelings, memories, and experiences, all entangled and influencing one another.
So our own minds are like mini universes.
Yeah.
Full of uncharted territories and unexpected connections.
Exactly. And just like exploring a jungle requires tools and techniques, navigating the mind jungle requires its own set of approaches.
Now, speaking of tools, the author of these notes seemed to have found a favorite in LogSec.
Yeah.
A note-taking app.
Yeah.
But it's not just about jotting down ideas.
Right.
It seems deeply connected to this whole UniInfo concept.
You're right. They're not just taking notes.
Yeah.
They're building a digital representation of their mind jungle within LogSec.
Okay.
They're using it to map out their thoughts, connect ideas, and explore the relationships between different concepts. It's like they're building their own mini Uninet within the app.
And they're really diving deep into LogSec's features, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of talk about block references, custom commands, even creating custom web elements.
Yep.
It's like they're hacking the app to fit their UniInfo worldview.
It speaks to their dedication to using the right tools to explore these ideas, to mold their digital environment to reflect the principles of UniInfo.
And they're not just passively using LogSec.
Right.
They're actively shaping it, pushing the boundaries of what's possible with the app.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, if the universe is a network of information, then my notes should be too.
Mm-hmm.
They're meticulous about keeping their knowledge graph consistent and well-organized, even as they're constantly experimenting and adding new ideas.
Right.
They're walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Okay, so we've got OBOPs as the building blocks, threads as the connections, the Uninet as the grand map,
right?
The mind jungle as our own internal universe, and LogSec as the tool for exploring it all.
Right.
I'm starting to see how these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's more to uncover.
Oh, yeah.
What else have you discovered in these UniinfoNotes?
Well, let's, welcome back to our deep dive into the UniinfoNotes repo. It's fascinating how the author connects these seemingly abstract concepts to practical applications. Like, take the Uninet, for example.
Right.
It's not just a theoretical model. It's something they're actively trying to build.
Yeah, that really struck me too.
Yeah.
But I mean, how do you even begin to build a digital model of the universe? Where do you even start?
Well, they seem to be drawing inspiration from a variety of fields.
Okay.
Graph theory, network science, even physics concepts like quantum entanglement.
Okay.
They envision the Uninet as this vast network of nodes, with each node representing a piece of information and the connections between them representing the relationships and interactions that make up the universe.
Okay, so it's like a giant ever-expanding web of information.
Right.
But what kind of information are we talking about here?
Right.
Is it just hard data or is it something more?
That's where it gets really mind-bending. They're defining information in the broadest sense possible.
Okay.
It's not just numbers and facts. It's also abstract concepts, ideas, even subjective experiences, like emotions.
Hold on. Are you saying they're trying to map out everything from the laws of physics to the feeling of falling in love? That seems a bit out there, doesn't it?
It's definitely ambitious. But they acknowledge the massive challenges involved. You know? They're not claiming to have all the answers, but they believe that even a partial implementation of the Uninet could be incredibly valuable.
Okay, I'm willing to entertain a possibility, but let's say hypothetically that they managed to build this Uninet.
Right.
What could we actually do with it? What are the potential applications?
The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing. They talk about using the Uninet to simulate complex systems, like predicting climate change or modeling the spread of diseases. It could revolutionize scientific research, leading to breakthroughs we can't even imagine yet.
So it could be like a giant superpowered simulator for understanding and solving some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Exactly.
Right.
And they also envision the Uninet facilitating new forms of communication and collaboration, allowing people to share knowledge and insights more seamlessly. Imagine a world where we could tap directly into this vast network of information, learning from each other on a global scale.
That sounds incredible. But I have to admit, the idea of plugging our minds into a giant network of information is a bit unsettling.
Yeah.
What about privacy?
Right.
What about security? Couldn't this technology be misused or even weaponized?
You're hitting on some crucial points.
Yeah.
The author acknowledges the ethical implications and the potential risks of developing such powerful technology. They emphasize the importance of building safeguards into the Uninet from the ground up, ensuring that it's used responsibly and ethically.
So it's not just about the technical feasibility. It's also about the social and ethical considerations, making sure that this technology benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
Absolutely. They envision a decentralized and democratic governance structure for the Uninet, one that prioritizes transparency, accountability, and individual autonomy.
That's reassuring to hear. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the practical side of things. How far along are they in actually building this Uninet?
Right.
Is it just a theoretical concept at this point, or have they made any tangible progress?
It's still early stages, but they've been experimenting with various approaches. They're exploring graph databases, network analysis tools, even dipping their toes into machine learning and AI to see how these technologies can enhance the UniNet's capabilities.
It sounds like a lot of trial and error, a lot of exploration.
Yeah.
Are there any specific projects or examples that illustrate their progress?
One cool example is their work on a knowledge mapping tool that allows them to visualize the connections between different UniInfo concepts. It's like a map of their mind jungle, helping them navigate the vast network of ideas.
So it's like a visual representation of the UniNet itself.
Exactly. And they're also experimenting with natural language processing to automatically extract information from text and build connections between concepts in the UniNet. It's like teaching the UniNet to read and understand human language.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So they're trying to automate the process of building the UniNet, making it easier to absorb and connect vast amounts of information.
Yeah.
But let's be real, building something like this is a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
Way beyond the scope of any one individual.
Right.
How are they planning to build a community around this project and get others involved?
Well, they've been actively sharing their ideas and progress online through forums, blog posts, even academic publications. They're also connecting with other researchers and developers, inviting them to collaborate and contribute to the project.
So they're building a network of like-minded individuals, creating a community of UniInfo enthusiasts who are passionate about exploring these ideas and helping to build the UniNet.
Exactly. And they're encouraging others to explore UniInfo in their own ways to find their own applications and interpretations of these concepts. They believe that the more diverse the perspectives, the richer and more valuable the UniNet will become.
It's inspiring to see someone with such a grand vision willing to share their ideas openly and invite others to participate.
Absolutely.
But let's zoom back in on some of the specifics within the UniinfoNotes. I'm really intrigued by this concept of qualitons. What are they and how do they fit into the overall framework of UniInfo?
Qualitons are where UniInfo gets really philosophical, bridging the gap between the physical and the mental, the objective world, and our subjective experience of it. They're described as the fundamental units of awareness, the building blocks of how we experience the world.
So they're like the bridge between the external world and our internal perception of it.
That's a great way to put it. They're like the translators, converting the language of the universe into the language of our minds.
But how do they actually work? What's the mechanism by which qualitons transform raw data into subjective experience?
That's where things get a bit more speculative. They suggest that qualitons are a type of quantum phenomenon operating at the intersection of the physical and the mental. They're influenced by both the objective properties of the world and the internal state of the observer, blending these two perspectives to create a unified experience.
So qualitons are where the objective and subjective meet the point where the external world collides with our internal perceptions.
And they propose that our unique set of qualitons, our individual perceptual filters, shape how we see the world. No two people experience reality in exactly the same way because we each have our own unique set of qualitons.
So you're saying that our qualitons determine how we perceive things, what we pay attention to, how we interpret events, even our emotional responses.
Exactly. And they believe that becoming more aware of our qualitons can be transformative. By understanding our own perceptual biases, we can become more objective observers, less swayed by our preconceived notions and more open to different perspectives.
Now I'm seeing the practical implications of this. It's not just a theory about consciousness. It's a tool for self-awareness and personal growth.
Exactly.
But I'm curious, are there any examples of how they're applying this qualiton concept in their own life?
They mention using it in conflict resolution, for example. By recognizing that everyone is experiencing the world through their own unique set of qualitons, they approach disagreements with more empathy and understanding. It helps them see things from other people's perspectives, even when those perspectives are vastly different from their own.
That's a powerful application of this concept. It highlights how UniInfo can be used to improve our relationships and navigate challenging situations with more compassion.
Absolutely. And they also suggest that exploring our qualitons can help us become more effective learners.
Okay.
By understanding how we process information and what kinds of experiences resonate with us, we can tailor our learning strategies and make the most of our unique cognitive strengths.
This is really thought-provoking stuff.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how UniInfo can be applied to so many different areas of life.
Right.
But I know we've only scratched the surface of these UniinfoNotes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that particularly stood out to you in your deep dive?
One thing that I found particularly fascinating was their exploration of how they're using LogSec.
Okay.
Not just to document UniInfo, but to actively practice it.
Okay.
It's like their note-taking process itself becomes a microcosm of the Uninet.
That's intriguing. Tell me more about how they're using LogSec to embody the principles of UniInfo.
We'll take the concept of threads, for example.
Yeah.
In UniInfo, everything is interconnected, woven together in this complex web of relationships. And you see that reflected in how they use LogSec.
Okay.
Their notes aren't just linear lists.
Yeah.
They're a network of interconnected ideas.
Okay.
They're constantly drawing connections, referencing other notes, creating a digital representation of the interconnectedness that UniInfo describes.
So their notes become a kind of mini universe, a reflection of the Uninet itself.
Exactly. And it's not just the structure, it's also the content. They're not just passively recording information. They're actively engaging with it, questioning their own assumptions, connecting ideas in new ways, and even using their notes as a springboard for creative projects.
It sounds like they've turned note-taking into a dynamic process of exploration and discovery.
Absolutely.
And it's not just a solitary pursuit, is it? They're also actively sharing their notes and their methodologies with the LogSec community.
Yeah.
Encouraging others to experiment with these approaches.
You're right. They're creating a space for others to explore UniInfo, to find their own ways to apply these concepts and contribute to the growing body of knowledge. It's like they're building a community of knowledge explorers, all interconnected through the shared language and principles of UniInfo.
That's a beautiful image.
Yeah.
And speaking of exploration, we've talked a lot about the Uninet and the mind jungle.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to hear more about how they're actually applying these concepts in their day-to-day life.
Right.
How are they using UniInfo to navigate the complexities of the real world? Welcome back to the Deep Dive. As we wrap up our exploration of the UniinfoNotes, I'm struck by how the author seamlessly blends the theoretical with the practical, weaving these UniInfo principles into their daily life.
It's a testament to their commitment to not just understanding these concepts, but actually living them. They're constantly experimenting, finding new ways to apply UniInfo to everything from problem solving to personal growth.
And one of the most fascinating examples of this is their approach to task management, which they call matter planning.
Yeah.
It's like they've taken this idea of interconnectedness and turned it into a system for getting things done.
Matter planning is a really apt name.
Yeah.
Because it emphasizes that our tasks aren't isolated items on a to-do list.
Right.
They're interconnected pieces of matter woven into the fabric of our lives. They use LogSec to visualize this web of tasks and projects, linking them together, grouping them by context, and even mapping them onto different time frames.
So it's not just about checking things off a list, but about understanding how each task fits into a larger whole, a bigger picture.
Precisely. And they go beyond simply completing tasks. They use UniInfo concepts like intent and extent to guide their actions, ensuring their efforts are aligned with their values and goals.
That sounds incredibly organized and purposeful.
Yeah.
But I imagine it takes a lot of effort to maintain that level of awareness.
Right.
How do they manage to stay on track with so many interconnected threads, pulling them in different directions?
They have a few strategies. They use time blocking techniques to allocate focus time for specific tasks. And they prioritize ruthlessly, ensuring that the most important things get their attention. But they also recognize the importance of flexibility. They regularly brain dump to clear their mind and create space for new insights. And they make time for reflection, reassessing their priorities and adjusting their plans as needed.
So it's not about rigidly sticking to a predetermined plan, but about constantly adapting and evolving.
Exactly.
Staying responsive to the ever-changing flow of information and events.
Exactly. And they see this adaptability as a core principle of UniInfo.
Yeah.
Recognizing that the universe itself is in constant flux, and our approach to life and work should reflect that.
This matter planning system is really inspiring.
Yeah.
It shows how UniInfo can be applied in practical ways to increase our effectiveness and live more intentionally.
Right.
Now, earlier we talked about the mind jungle.
Right.
That vast internal landscape of thoughts and experiences.
Yeah.
How is the author navigating this jungle?
Yeah.
And what tools are they using to explore its depths?
They advocate for a multifaceted approach, combining traditional practices like meditation and introspection with modern tools like mind mapping and journaling.
Okay.
They emphasize the importance of cultivating curiosity, openness, and a willingness to challenge one's own assumptions.
Okay.
They even experiment with different note-taking techniques within LogSec, using the platform as a digital laboratory for exploring their mind jungle.
It sounds like they're approaching their own mind with the same sense of wonder and curiosity that they bring to the exploration of the universe.
Yes. And they believe that by understanding our own minds with all their complexities and contradictions, we gain a deeper appreciation for the interconnectedness of everything. After all, our individual minds are not separate from the universe, but are woven into its very fabric.
This deep dive into the UniinfoNotes has been an incredible journey. We've explored the interconnectedness of everything, ventured through the mind jungle, and even delved into the practical application of UniInfo principles in daily life.
Right.
It's clear that the author is not just thinking about these ideas, but actively living them, turning UniInfo into a guiding philosophy for navigating the complexities of the world.
And as we wrap up this exploration,
I
encourage you to consider what resonated most with you, which concepts sparked your curiosity, and how you might start incorporating some of these principles into your own life. Whether it's experimenting with matter planning, exploring your own mind jungle through journaling, or simply becoming more mindful of the obops happening all around you. There are countless ways to engage with the ideas of UniInfo.
It's been a truly mind-expanding experience. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of UniInfo. If you're interested in learning more, we'll provide links to the UniinfoNotes repository in the show notes. And remember, the universe is a vast and interconnected web. We're all part of the grand tapestry, each of us a unique thread contributing to the ever-evolving story of existence.